So the HaggleOTron is an interactive kettle which sits within the context of a retail environment. And it mimics the interaction between a user and a vendor at, say, a street market, in which the user can haggle or negotiate over the price of an item. And it's investigating how an internet of second-hand things, how the data attached to objects actually influences the value of second-hand objects.
So charity shops are really the obvious place to start doing research about how people use second-hand goods in the UK. I started doing ethnographic research in Manchester, a city that's got one of the highest concentrations of charity shops in here in the UK. So when I was doing this research, something that was really a meeting point of what the managers and shop assistants had been saying to me, and something that I observed for myself through doing ethnographic research, was customers' use of smartphones. So when the customers were walking around looking at things they wanted to buy, whether it was a book or an item of clothing or a CD, they'd find something, they'd look at the price that would be affixed to it by the shop assistant, and that would be either a sticker or a paper tag. They'd get out their smartphone and they'd look up the item, the name of the CD, for example, online, and if they could get a cheaper price on Amazon or on eBay, then they'd use this kind of evidence on the smartphone to haggle for a price or to bargain for a price with the shop assistant.
Typical interaction with the HaggleOTron would usually open with the HaggleOTron making a call or putting an invitation for someone to haggle. And then the user would take an item that they have found or that they would like to buy, and they would bring it to the HaggleOTron and show it. And they would also provide some information that would support their new price or their suggested new price. And this might be to do with the condition of the item, there might be holes in it, or it might be to do with the history of the item, or it could be that they are buying a number of items and they would like to get a price on the whole lot of them. And then the HaggleOTron would take that information and would present new information that would support his price. And this could be to do with Oxfam's work, how the money translates from the price in the store into the aid that they can supply. Or it might be to do with the history of the item or where it has been made. And then this turn-by-turn interaction would continue until they'd finally agreed a price, at which point the HaggleOTron would print the new price along with some information such as how much that equates to in terms of aid, and the user could then take that receipt and bring that to the counter and pay for their item. The HaggleOTron itself is a 1970s steel kettle, a camping kettle, and it has an embedded webcam which allows the HaggleOTron to see, a thermal printer which allows it to communicate through printed messages and also give the user a receipt at the end of the transaction. And it also has a speaker. There's also a mic embedded inside.
It does, but it is from Primark, so I think £3 is a good price. Yeah, it's okay, but their clothing is pretty cheap in the first place, so I don't think I've ever spoken to a teen.